good morning, folks. It's a day after Thanksgiving, Friday morning. We're going to do some art. So give me a second here. I'm going to check in on my signal to make sure that everything's coming clear. I've got a few social media posts to pop, and then we'll get back into doing this artwork. Let's check my volume, see if I am audible or not. That sounds like a big negative. I can barely hear myself. What is up with that? Hold on. Maybe, yeah, the volume seems really. Let's see if I can do something to crank that up. Maybe like, maybe that's better now. Am I coming in mood? I'm gonna check my volume here again real quick. Am I coming in mood? I'm gonna check my volume here again real quick. It's so quiet. It's so quiet. There, I have to really crank that up. See if I can. There. And I need to turn my music down a little bit. Sorry guys, that's a balance issue going on here. Sorry guys, that's a balance issue going on here. Bring that down. That should be good. Bring that down. That should be good. Check, check, check. Mic check. 1, 2, 3. Check, check, check. Mic check. Okay, that's super crisp. Let's do that. We'll drop the volume down there so we can hopefully keep it out of my own ear while I do stuff. And I guess I should have told everybody to skip ahead a minute while I calibrated everything. But alas, earwax, I forgot to. I create role-playing games. I illustrate them and I publish them. We're making an adventure for the Eberron campaign world, playing Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition using 2024 rules. Here, let's see. Let's get my background screens fixed. Clickety, clackety, clunk. Let's see. Yeah, okay. We're at the place we need to be now. Thanks. Okay, great. So let's fix my screen. And book cover here we created. Background episode 40. We're on like episode 607, 603 now. This is the, if we drop away the reference image that we're using there, here is the current piece of art that we're working on, the Blood Golem, which is a collection of necrotic, sentient necrotic ooze and corpses that have been consumed by the necrotic ooze prior to its animating. Now it crawls after people and spits out undead at you. So fun little thing, grabs you. It's like a living Navard's black tentacle, and it basically comes in and swarms. And you know, Bob's your uncle. So we're gonna continue working on this. Grab our color palette down here. Let's add our references back over here. This is other pieces of art that we've created in the book already that we're using for color references on this piece. So we're gonna keep adding flesh and visceral to these zombies that are coming out of the ooze. So I'm going to grab again some zombie flesh color, and I think actually that's all being covered down here. Yeah, so zombie flesh highlights. Let's do that. Oh no, we were doing intestines. That's right. We're doing intestines now. So let's go grab some intestine colors. Let's see, up here. This is where I want to be at. I'm gonna just grab some red, some dark red. That'll be a good base shade color. And we have some viscera here. That's a good mid-tone. I think we can use that here. And then let's get a dark mid-tone. That should probably do good. Yeah. So if we use this as a base, and then this is our shadow, and then this is our highlight, we should probably get some good organ stuff going on. That's where we're at now. Let's grab that color for now. There. And I'm going to use the guitar pick smudge brush because it has it can push. It's much cleaner at pushing lines. than the soft round brush or the cloud brush that we created. Cloud brushes are really good at dispersing pixels. This guitar pick's really good at sculpting and pushing like clay. So we're going to let that sit. There. I'm going to smooth this one out as well. Let's grab this as a mid-low tone. So I've got about an hour and a half or so this morning that I can work on this. I do need to go into my day job to get some stuff resolved, but it's only going to be a half day, so I will be back. I'm going to actually be back online this afternoon at 2 o'clock to work on Spelljammer, Kaiju, and Mecha mechanics, as well as the Bastion campaign for developing this XCOM style game of defending asteroid communities from Kaiju attacks with spell-jamming mecha. So we'll be developing that some more, building Kaiju, and I think breaking down a formal structure of how to process Bastion turns with the players taking creative control of what those complications are, which should be interesting. Me creating allowing the players to roll complications that arise from their Bastion orders, and then the complication that occurs see if they want to, as a pseudo DM, dictate what the nature of that complication is. Like if you have a complication in harvesting grain for a community to send food to another asteroid that's been having a shortage, that's been having a drought, or rather a cold snap that's killed all their crops. So now they need food. So establishing a harvest trade line to move the materials from one asteroid community to another, that there's a skill check involved, and if you fail the skill check, it creates a complication. If you pass the skill check, there's no complications, and you can transport the goods without any conflict or ambush or hazards or accidents occurring or anything. The job goes smoothly is basically what that is. But if you fail the ability check, the job does not go smoothly, and there are potential like bandit attacks or weather blowing your ships off course into the poison sea, or who knows, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Any sort of thing can happen. That's a random table. So allowing the players to roll on the random table, like they decide that, yeah, we're gonna run this trade line for this community X, community Y. Like if that is their decision to make, and they decide to follow through with it, then they are going to roll the ability check like they should, because they're playing the game. And the result that they get, let's see, I want to blend this in here like that a little bit more. And the complication is just like a guideline. It doesn't know the specifics of this campaign. It just understands campaigns in general. So it's like, yeah, if you roll this complication, bandits are blocking the free movement of goods and services between one community and another. So any trade orders that you have are disrupted. That would include this harvesting order we're talking about, because we're trying to send that food to another community. So if bandits are blocking our way, that means that the community has pirates that are invading the area. So that then becomes an adventure. But it didn't necessarily have to be like pirates specifically, or like the team can decide where the pirates are coming from, or we'll figure it out. So we're going to walk through that stuff. We're going to walk through the details of that today, and I suspect I'll be back on, I think I'm going to be back on like around 2 o'clock Seattle time, which will be about 7 hours from now. We'll jump back on and be active for a few hours, make some kaiju, look at, review some of the options for the mecha modifications that we've been building out. I think that should run smoothly. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to have a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. That'll be 8 hours from now, and, you know, Bob's your uncle. Cheers. Do that. Let's smudge this in here a little bit. Where are you from? Okay. Let's get that jaw offset here so it stands out. Nice. Regardless of how far along we get in this piece today on screen, I think I'm making this the last day that I'm going to stream it. So that may require me to put in a little bit of extra time off camera to get it completed. But I've had my fill of working on this particular piece on camera. So I'm making this the last day. On Monday, we'll come back and we'll work on something else. If this piece is completed, then I will show that off to you. If it's straggling behind in production, then maybe we'll come back and visit another time. We'll see. But I want to switch things up on Monday. Just moving. We have like 7 more pieces to do, and this one's taking too long. I only have an hour and a half in the morning that I work on this, but I do stuff off screen in the evenings or sometimes at lunchtime to keep pushing this project forward. I'm just sharing you the art process because I like doing art. We have 7 other monsters that we need to create or redo the illustrations for. And I am not moving fast enough at the current rate to get done with the book before end of year, which is a light goal that I have set for myself. It's not a hard goal. I can fudge it if I want to, but I'd like to not push back getting this project finished. I want to move forward with it, and I want to be able to create the space on my workbench to be able to continue developing the Spelljammer campaign that we're going to run, and I want to have that start in February. So I need to have my workbench cleared in January for me to be able to do that. So I'm really hoping I'll get this thing done in December. That we'll see if that's possible or not. Let's just be honest. Let's be cool and relaxed about it. Just accept that this shit takes time. I love this body cavity here. That looks really fun. Let's grab this and let's throw some additional ichor. Probably should have put this in a separate layer, but oh well. Smudge that in. This stuff is so fun to do. Just ick and gore in general is just super satisfying. Let's grab this mid-tone here. And now let's grab this dark. This curling and entwining effect is one of the things I love the most about doing tentacle smut. I love just the intricate coiling. It's so fun, and it feels like this, it's great. So satisfying as an artist to just drop these little elegant little lines through. God, that's so satisfying. And let's grab that dark color again. But yeah, I think I just spent a little bit too much time on this one. I want to keep switching things up just to keep things interesting for people. It also helps. I mean, I am emotionally drained on this project. I've been working on it for years. Maybe not all just the same. I've been really pushing myself this year to get the artwork done here, but there's so many assets that go into creating these things that it's absurd. Just fucking absurd. So I won't be doing another adventure like this for a while. I want to do at least one more. There's another Eberron adventure that I've ran that I want to convert into an adventure similar to this one. Also, ironically, in Karnath, but really far north in the Arctic Circle, where there's sea bass fishing. It's an Arctic bass. That's oh no, it's crabbing. I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm thinking. It's a crabbing community. They do Alaskan crab fishing. You know, but it's not Alaskan crab. Obviously, it's the Arctic Circle north of Karnath. The is it called ice flow? I don't remember. I have to look again. But it's an adventure about a volcano in this winter crabbing community that's been the volcano used to be active. It was quelled by an elemental monk. This is what I'm looking for: a temple, an ice elemental temple. Has been erected at the top of the volcano, effectively like putting a lock, like an elemental lock on that volcano, and there's an evil fire elemental that lives inside of the volcano, and while the temple is there, it's imprisoned in the lava. But if the temple is destroyed, then the seal breaks, and the elemental is freed from its prison, and it will destroy the community that has grown around the volcano since its quelling. So you can't let the elemental out of the volcano, otherwise it erupts and kills everybody. But so somebody came in and disrupted the magic involved with that, and now the community is at risk of being destroyed. And they're also at the same time looting the temple that they've disrupted. So they go in, they break the seal, and then they start looting the place of all of his artifacts and magical scrolls and stuff like that. And your job in the adventure is to put a stop to the volcano exploding and to stop the raiding criminals that are attacking the temple. And so that would be I think a fun adventure to create, because it's got the community at the bottom of the volcano. There's the journey up the volcano. You're basically climbing a mountain to stop it from exploding. So you have to take the journey up the volcano, and then there's the temple at the top of the volcano. You have to fight your way through that to stop the villains from unleashing, fully freeing the fire elemental in the volcano from its prison. So it takes its vengeance out on the community. And meanwhile, the criminals get away. So, I mean, who's going to report them if the city gets buried in volcanoes? So that's like a fiendish plan. But they are working with elemental artifacts that they want to gain control of. So shit, maybe I'll make it an artifact of Frisia. That's holding that's locking down the volcano in the region to be cold. That could be a fun idea. But yeah, when I ran that adventure, it was for 5th and 6th level characters. And I think I could probably leave it there. I could also make it 9th level to follow this adventure, because there's the idea in here about expanding the campaign to run different adventures to collect different artifacts, and that one of those artifacts could be collected in the Frozen Temple. That would be super cool. I'm just about done with this guy. Yep, there we go. Maybe get some wetness in here like that. I like the rough chalkiness texture compared to the slick smoothness of gradients. I like the contrast there. So I'm just feeling out how do I want to have those those two textures interact with the piece. Like, can I make that work? I think I can. Let's do that. Let's blow that out a little bit. I think I like that guy like this. Let's go to here. Yeah, okay, and let's fill in some more body cavity over here. Grab a base color. Let's drop in some wet-looking shapes. I'm going to merge these down, actually. Yeah, every time I finish somebody's entrails, we'll merge those entrails down into the skeletal piece to have everything blend together a little better. That should help me. Like, for instance, I can come in here and manipulate this a little bit. Excuse me for a second. I felt I needed to explore pushing this piece, this skeleton into the necrotic ooze a little bit more. So I wanted to push this darkness over its body to help recede into the jello mold of necrotic ooze that this is. There we go. There. Now that starts pushing this corpse into the background, into the body of the ooze. So I can have shapes with this varying degrees of obscurement with this necrotic darkness, and that adds depth to the mass. And then I could paint over having entrail tentacles that are not as obscured by this, like overlap. Excuse me. Like overlapping like this, like to be brighter than it, like this. That stand out more to add dimensionality to it in front of this, which is receding into the darkness of the mass. That's what I'm talking about. So this is a good step forward for design. Like, you can barely see its hands inside that darkness there, while this one is pulling. This one is now obviously moving forward compared to this one, which is receding because of how the darkness is wrapping around the body of this skeleton. So, and I can further emphasize that. I can drop in here to have its arms receding into the back, while its ribs remain forward. So that's a fun way to further obscure the depth of this skeleton. Also to help convey some entrapment. Help close in that space a little bit better. Super fun. Now it looks like it's sinking into and trying to push its way out of the ooze. I think that's a lot of fun. We can even collapse half of its body, so that's mostly being reclaimed, and it's trying to push its way out, like the shoulder its way out. There we go, like that. I love taking holidays. I love time with friends, but I love being back in the saddle and continuing to do artwork in the mornings. I paint or draw or whatever every day, and I have for 35 years. I've been pretty serious about doing daily. No, God, like since I was like 14, so like 36 years. Yeah, I've had a pretty solid passion, and I've become avid at basically art every day, in one form or another, whether I'm sketching stuff or doing, digital painting like this, or map making, or whatever. It's every day for decades. I've focused on doing something visual, creative work, and that's kept my sanity quite a bit over the years, honestly. But yeah, it's a great habit, and I love artwork, and I love doing so. I do artwork in the mornings to guarantee that I can satisfy that creative energy before I start my day job. So I can casually let my work evolve into whatever it's going to evolve into without feeling the pressure of producing, like to pay for my mortgage and shit. It's just a side hustle. It's fun to do, but it's meditative for me, and it gives me that 0 point energy of Zen space while I'm working on stuff. I love entering that empty space. It's so great. There we go. Add a little bit of gap there in the ribs to help it feel a little more interesting. Sculpt that like that. Yeah, there we go. Nope, too much. Smudge. There we go. Let's grab that. Good. You can push that back here. There we go. Nice. I like how these are looking. This is really cool. Let's ease off on that a little bit so it can push its way forward. There, like that. That gives you the angle that I want. I'm happy with that. Let's see. We can have some more entrails fitting down here. I'm just going to let that fade into the murk. Again, this is setting up for us to be able to do layers of entrail that are basically coiling around each other. Like we have this coiling language that we can see here with the necrotic goop at the outer edges, where it's just necrosis, and further in is where the bodies are at. But you can see that same curling language in these entrails down here as well. So we're creating consistent patterns of shapes and shit. That's my timely timer working on my updates. I have an alarm that goes off every 20 minutes. It's there to remind me to take a drink. So I'm going to drink some water. I'm going to chase it with some coffee. Good morning. And the rule is every time you take a drink of water, take a drink of coffee, you drink 2 water. So I drink 1 water first, the coffee, and I'll chase it. I will continue on. Hydration is important, especially if you're going to yammer a lot at a camera. And good morning, folks. Happy to be here. Thank you for checking out my channel. If you think this stuff is cool, I'm here 8 times per week, Monday through Friday in the morning. I do monster and adventure artwork like this. And then typically on Mondays and Thursday nights, I do a design stream for like making different types of games or mechanics for games or supplements or campaign designs or whatever it is that we're working on, whatever my next endeavor is, whatever the endeavor. And ultimately what I do on Monday and Thursday nights becomes what I do on Monday through Friday in the morning. Because once a book is, or a supplement or a game is built out enough to be built into an actual product, you know, we build out all the text for it, and then all the blank spots that we have for the inside of the text, like for the monsters and stuff. That's where I add this in, and then we do all the illustrations here. So the Monday, Thursday portion, that's when we're designing the ideas that we build. And then once they're built out, then we can start integrating stuff in. I can merge this layer down here to keep things simplified. Okay, now back to the organs here. Sorry, that was a tangent there. This stuff down here caught my eye. And I wanted to play out what I was feeling from it before I lost that feeling. Now that I've caught this vibe, I have enough of it here on screen for me to be able to follow through with this sort of fading effect into the darkness of the ooze. There we go. So yeah, but yesterday was Thanksgiving here in America, so God bless everyone. I hope they had opportunity to be with people that they care for and care for you. But I have a half day. I'm going to go in. We're going to finish up here probably like around 8 o'clock in about 45 minutes like usual. And then I'm going to go in and get some work done. But then it's going to be a half day, so I'm going to come out, and to make up for not being here last night, I'm going to be on stream doing game design this afternoon at 2 o'clock till 5 o'clock. That'll be 2 o'clock is about, 4 hours and 45 minutes away. So I'll finish this at 8 this morning. That'll be about 45 minutes more of this this undead art. And then I'm going to do my day stuff for a 4-hour block or whatever. And then be back on in 4.5 hours. What is that? Is that right? So hold on. 12 o'clock, not 6.5 hours. Thank you. About 6 hours, 45 minutes ish. That's what I meant. I'm math and bad. There. I think that's sufficient. I can fade it a little bit more. There. Okay, cool. I'm happy with that at this point. Actually, I'm not. Let me add some more goop in here. I can really just skimp on the detail because it's fading into the mass of the necrotic jello. Let's get that worked in. I want the shapes, but I want it to be really, really value really low, so it's blending in more. Like that. That feels pretty good. Like that. There we go. So I appreciate people clicking through and checking out what we're doing here. Thanks for anyone that wants to swing by and hang out for a few minutes and watch me push some pixels. Very much appreciated. Yeah, I want to bring this out a little bit by brightening it, and then we'll recede. There. Meticulous work. It takes time. But that's what a craft is. It's people taking the time to build the things, and not. I mean, more and more things can be automated. Artwork can be automated now. 3D printing is automated. All you gotta do is just feed in. If you don't care about the material that whoa, my chair just dropped. As long as you don't care about the material that you're using. I'm gonna fix myself here on screen. Cheers. So to be able to create things. It really is. It's no longer a technical requirement. It is an art. It's a craft and pursuit of art and expression more than necessity. The functionality of whatever it is that you're doing is valuable, of course. But as automation and automated production increases into the creative space, creating now becomes a luxury. And I want to lavish that luxury, and produce things that have that unique vision to it, that human touch to it. I'm always gonna love doing that. There. Let's just create this little curl in here, so it fades into the murk. Hello, people that are swinging through. I'll add just a little bit of pop of light in here. There. Now I drop back down to this guy here and work on these organs here. I love doing undead and just like cadaver stuff like this. It's so satisfying. Hey, good morning. How are you doing? I don't know how to say your name. I don't know the Greek alphabet. What's up, Francois? I'm doing great. I'm having a really good morning. Francois, my dude. Here, and then have it start trailing off like that. At this depth, I'm going to start dropping it into, having it recede into the ooze. But I want to have a little tentacle extending out here to help curl into the mass to feed language. Everyone's intestines pay tribute to the tentacle god. My Greek alphabet friend, I am doing fantastic today. And let's see, I want to move into this part here. I want to do a little bit of cleanup on this body. It's looking a little rough. I like a lot of it, but it's looking a little rough, so. And just adding some form and cleaning up some of the texture a little bit. I like the fuzziness back, a little bit of this fuzziness. This like sort of almost mossiness that is like the chalkiness of the bodies. I like that, but I don't want to overemphasize it because the difference in texture is really nice. And I think the piece needs breaks in texture, but it needs to make sure that it's not at the cost of realistic materials. What's up? What do you finish? Let me get my box out of the way here. What did you finish with that drawing of the swamp chest? Swamp chest. I don't know. I don't think I know what we're talking about. If I can better understand which piece you're talking about, I can show you. Here we are. Oh God, look at that piece. That's so nice. That slipperiness. Love that. Let's cave this in here a little bit better. What is going wrong? Right. Understood. Thank you. I keep thinking, I'm just going to merge these together. Fuck it. I like how this one looks. Here like that. Swamp chest. Bip, bip, bidoo. Let's grab this highlight here, drop it across here, help define these ribs a little bit better. I like that. That feels good. That feels really good. I like that. These little pops of light just help make it clean. There we go. Yeah. Into that. I am into that. That seems a little bit big. Is a problem. Let's drop this down here so it's trash and we'll leave that be. Let's leave it be. Should be okay. It's a little bit big, but it'll be okay. I'm gonna have to blend those all together eventually, but not this instant. Let's grab this mid-tone here. No, I need a higher light than that. Is that gonna be good enough? Yeah, that's gonna be good enough. Get that wetness. Break into your ribs like that. There we go. Nice. That's a good little shape right there. Nope. Let's do like that. There we go. There we go. Nice. Trim down that clavicle. It's got like a chimp sort of smile. I love it. Hey, what's up? Good drawing as always. Hey, thank you. Very, very kind, sir. Appreciate you. I've been painting in the freelance market for role-playing games since for about 25, 26 years now. And you know, I've been pursuing art ever since I was a little kid. I knew that I wanted to get good at art. I was like, I'm going to get good at this craft. That was a decision that I made. I think when I was 14, that's when I stopped flirting with the idea of getting into illustration. Just decided to take it like really seriously. Like, this is what I'm going to do. Like, started getting books, training myself, taking all the art classes that I could. When I got to college, I took a couple art classes, but I went into HR management of all things. But didn't finish the degree as I actually ended up getting a job at an Italian restaurant, and I fell in love with cooking. So then I pursued a culinary trade license and let that go, and got into sales and then into marketing. Did some fraud investigation with Chase Bank for a while. I worked at a microchip factory for a year or so, basically building cell phone CPUs. That was fun. Hanging out in a bunny suit, you know, in a clean room, playing with wafers. I would my job at the time was to feed silicon wafers into a giant kiln that would inject. It was like 3,600 degrees Celsius, something insanely huge like that. And what that kiln would do was it would vaporize gold, and the gold it would layer thin gold particulates across the silicon wafer that was being built into the CPU. This was to increase conductivity, or to insulate conductivity, so you can create these little tracks on the circuit board. Those tracks were cut grooves into developing carbon. They carve in like these 1 or 2 atom deep canals into the wafer chip, and then they would suffuse materials across it that would then sink into the canals, and then we'd strip off all of the excess molecules across the surface of the wafer, so that now the carbon and the gold were now at the same molecular height and the density of the fabric of the layer. And then we would stack up multiple layers, because these were 3-dimensional objects that were creating these little CPU wafers. So we'd have to build them like just like a just like a 3D printer will create, you know, line by line the plastic that's laying in there, or the resin for the 3D construction, like your miniature, or, you know, that plastic toy or whatever it is that you're making. But but computer wafers are built the same way, one atom at a time, building up the thickness of the wafer. And there would be thousands of chemical mechanical processes that you'd have to process. You'd have to go through to make that wafer happen. It was a psychotic job. Just the engineering marvel of making that happen is just freaking mind-blowing. And I love it. So it was fun to do that for a while. but it's a seasonal job. So they would hire you on. You do like a 4-month burst, and they'd lay you off, and you'd have to go in again. So I stuck around for about a year and a half, but I'm like, this is too chaotic. The money is good while it's there, but you have to it's not if you realize that like you could have a 4-month stint and not have any work while you're waiting for the next production cycle to fire up. And if you're laid off, you don't know if you're going to be able to recruit back in to be part of the next run. So you're kind of just hanging out, hoping you have a job 4 months from now. And you're supposed to conserve your paycheck during that down cycle. And it's like, it was really good money if you weren't caught out in a down cycle. But if you had to sit out, if you had to bench between seasons, then it's just like, that's brutal. So I couldn't build a life around that. So I had to let it go. And I got into fraud management, and then into securities licensing and mortgage stuff, and then into marketing. So I've been kind of pinballing around different industries for quite some time. It's giving me a pretty wide set of perspectives about business and different types of operations, and mostly culture and human interaction. I'd say more than anything is the big insights that I've gotten from so many types of industries, seeing different types of people interact with each other. But I like how well-rounded it is. How very barred, jack of all trades sort of feel my career paths have taken me through. I enjoy it. I think I'm in my last 20 minutes. Yeah, I've got another 20 minutes. I'm going to skip out of here, go do some day job stuff, be finished up this afternoon. So if you want to check out my design stream, we're going to be making Spelljammer Kaiju. Possibly, if we can think of more modifications to add on to the mecha that we've designed, we can do that. But we can build a mecha. We'll build a couple mecha, and then we also need to further develop some of the asteroid communities. So we're just going to do a hodgepodge of stuff. I think it'll be fun. And then tomorrow morning, I'm going to be on stream Saturday morning. We're going to continue going through the Faerun subclass options, converting those. Their final renditions, we have those in our martial powers and color mana document that we've been building out for Magic the Gathering games. And so now that we have an official ruling, like on the Blade Singer and shit like that, we're going to go through and look at the Blade Singer. My camera feels a little low. I'm going to tilt that down a little bit and nudge me over here. Get haloed. There we go. Hey, guys. What's up? Bro, do you want me to tell you about an awkward situation? No. That sounds like something I don't want to hear. I'm sorry. When you entice me with that kind of language, that tells me that's something that I might have to tread carefully on. So, I appreciate you phrasing it that way. I'm going to pass. My gut, my instincts tell me no. So I got to follow my instincts, having no other insights. So my apologies. Can I make things real awkward? No. No, I'm going to pass. Thank you. There we are. We can just start. I see. We can just start slipping tendrils and entrails in between all of this mass here. And this is similar to what we have up here in the living grave. How it's just ragu and pasta flesh. We're pulling some of that same element into here, but we're using the necrotic framework here of the sentient tentacles, the living Evar's black tentacle that we have going on here. So this is kind of a blend of those two pieces. So everywhere there's a gap, I can add in these little curls. And honestly, I don't care if it's like, is that, are these ribs or are these entrails or what are they? It's like, I don't care. It's just, I'm filling the gap in with weirdness. I'm leaving that open to interpretation. All right, on my guy. Hey, thanks for sticking in. I really appreciate you, guy. I will I'll hopefully see you on the other side. Oh, God, yeah, this is great. There we go. Curl that around. Let's darken that up a little bit. Anytime it shoots through this little coil here like this, I like to make like this little rib effect. I love that. I think that's so much fun. There we go. Ah, it's so much fun. I love this stuff. Let's see. I'm going to leave this as a separate layer. I want to darken this up here. My pan out, it was blending, it was smudging out too much, so I wanted to get some depth added back into here. This is kind of overlapping, so I think I'm going to push this down here like that. So that comes forward in the piece a little bit. See these receding dark parts. Darkness recedes, light and brightness pulls forward. So I can stack these bodies up over each other by layering in different quantities of black and highlights. Like that. See, by adding these highlights in here, this pulls this portion of the body forward from the mass around it. And so if I want to match angle, I want to put here like that, and then highlights along like that. Brighten this up a little bit more. There. So that's a good little mass of undead weirdness. I am totally hating on this skull right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy, paste, and I'm going to reduce the size of that skull, and we're going to fill in. Still a little big. I think I want to squash his melon a little bit. That feels a lot better, right? That shape. So what I need to do then is blot this out. I don't know. Maybe we'll come back and work on this on Monday. I've got so many other things to do in the evening that I may as well just keep doing this. I'm enjoying the process. There's no reason for me not to do it. There we go. See, that feels a little more balanced now. We can take this and merge that down to here. Just get rid of that. The future is better. Good. Let's see. Let's work. Delete. Okay, that should be good. We can do here. We can shape up this spine a little bit more. That's awesome. Yeah, I know these spines are like way bigger than the bodies of the skeletons that are in here, but I'm just calling that creative licensing. There, like that. There we go, that feels pretty good. Set that on top of that. We're coming for your entrails, buddy. We're gonna get you in here in a minute. I like that face a lot. That's a good face. There's a very Megadeth sort of feeling to this one in particular here. I like you, buddy. I'll kill you last, Sonny. That feels good. Let's merge this down here. Good. All right, now let's go to the next body here. Let's grab some base entrail color and add in some organs. Such plentiful organs. More organs means more human. Oh, my squiggly splooge. Wait a second. Humans don't have squiggly splooge. What's going on here? Gaz has squiggly splooge. Zem has squiggly splooge. The signs were there the whole time. Gaz is a hybrid. There we go. Hey, what's going on? What's up? Hey, Def. Oh, I guess so. Are you saying racy stuff? We all know Lord YouTube is tight on the algorithms with the words that we can say, aren't we? All hail the overmind. In Google we trust. It says massive skulls. I suppose out of. I'll say it for you. Massive skulls. There you go. I'm gonna let you say massive skulls just now. There seems to be some inconsistency in our Lord's judgment. Go. Ah, this feels good. I could potentially have this hand draping over this one's shoulder, but I'm not there yet. I feel it, but I'm not there yet. What's up? It says stopping you from putting massive skulls in there to match the massive spines. I guess technically nothing. Maybe I can have some sort of sinister, larger shape hiding underneath the bodies. Yeah, I'm not gonna think about it too much. Let's see. Where do I want to be? I'm gonna merge this down. Peekaboo. What's up? Yeah. If it makes sense, though, it's yeah. You're absolutely right. I've allowed myself the opportunity to giantize anything that I want. Liking how these entrails are starting to slide into the mass. I need to do something about this break line here. This is still too strong of a point. I don't like this hard break on the base down here, but that's also something I'm not necessarily worrying about right now. I think the next step for me to do is just to keep adding more in. I want to trim this guy's arm down here. This guy's kind of like rough. This is very, very, I think I must have been tired when I got to working on this guy, because this is like super fucking lazy town undead. Like, don't look at me levels of undead. He's smiling about it though. He knows it's all a game. It's actually a pretty good looking skeleton face. I can trim that down a smidge. So yeah, I'm going to be back on at, it's almost 8 o'clock here. I'm going to be cutting out of here in a few, but I'm going to be back. I'm only having a half day in office, so I'm going to be back on here at 2 o'clock Seattle time, which is about 6 hours from now. We're going to work for a few hours on Spelljammer stuff. So we're going to, I think, flesh out our risk of random attackers like kaiju and pirates and shit like that. We're going to, I think, look at some more mecha modifications, build out some of the communities that we've been working on. We've got 3 more community hubs to build out. So I think I'm going to take a little time to randomly generate that. I'll probably just ramble on about the structure of the campaign a little bit, because that's starting to come together a little bit for me. Most of the ways for me to figure out how to do something is to just talk about it and just like talk it out. So I can manifest the ideas and see how they sound as I say them and stick to them or let them go. But I'm liking where the Spelljammer campaign is heading, and I want to spend a little bit more time about procedures through the campaign, like how we're actually going to process the actual running the game. Actually, yeah, that's the word, running the game. How we're going to actually run the Bastion Mechanics game. I've got some microscope sort of ideas for how the players can take partial control of what the different communities are doing at a more grand level, while still leaving me as the DM to build the challenges and counters that they have to take on, and the challenge and the goals that they'll have. But they can set up a lot of how the communities are doing things to decide how many conflicts they can potentially generate for them to resolve as adventurers. So I'm going to walk through that process today as well. And hopefully it ends up grooving with the folks that want to play test that game, because I like that sort of I like that back and forth process of like session zeroing every adventure or every encounter that they're going to have, or like every Bastion turn having a set of problems that need to be resolved. I like the idea of framing that around a session zero, like, how do we want these conflicts to be designed? What buttons are they punching for you as a player to express your character? What kind of backstory stuff can be built into what this month's adventure is going to be about, and hopefully be able to thread those things together to build a progressively generated campaign where the players have almost as much say and control over what the communities are doing as a DM does. And I think that could be interesting. And it's certainly holding my interest. So, and if as a DM, that's what I want to do. If it plays well, it'd be great to be able to present that as like a good default style to run a Dominion campaign. But so that's what we're going to get into. We're going to be mucking around with those ideas today. And that'll be at 2 o'clock, about 6 hours from now. And I'll be on for a few hours, and then I'm going to go have a Friday night like usual. Let's get rid of that dot. Whoa, where'd you go? There you go. Uh-oh. Oh no! Shut up. I haven't half day. I could fudge a little bit about going in. So I'm going to go. I'm not necessarily going to hard stop in 2 minutes or whatever, but we're almost there. I just want to give myself the grace and latitude to just kind of smudge this stuff in here for a few minutes if I want. Let's see. Let's take this and just cover it over as we've been doing. And then we can fade that so it looks like you're, again, sinking into the ooze. Or rather, pushing your way out of the mass. So it gives us the excuse to have partial anatomy here that you can't see it because it gets obscured by the depth of the necrosis. Not bad. This guy's head seems a little bit big too, don't you? You seem like you've got a big head, don't you? Let's merge down. Let's grab that head. Yeah, that's a poorly constructed skull. Let's quote unquote correct that. Hold on. There we go. Now that skull has a little space to express itself for what it is. Hey. I like the cut of this guy's jib. Give this man a mop. I'm gonna merge this one down. No, we're gonna leave it. We're gonna leave it up for a moment. Let's leave it separated, so we can rebuild the masses behind it. Ooh, this guy's like way hugging up inside these guys here. What is up with you, Close Sipper? What's up? Do you feel lucky? Hard to. Yes, very Clint Eastwood sort of snarl. That's great. I'm good with that. Keen reference, Steph. It's a good one. Yeah, let's cut this up a little bit. I like that. You're looking pretty good here, buddy, huh? Oh, that looks really cool. I'm digging that. darkness here. Push that like that. Yeah, I kind of shortcutted on this guy's head too, huh? A lot of laziness going on at some point. I must have been tired. It's exciting. It's fun when you get excited about a piece again. Sometimes, like I'll go through these oscillating cycles of excited about the potential of the piece, exhausted and fatigued by the processing needed to get that vision that I wanted, to getting through that hurdle and things actually looking cool and being able to proceed again. Like I go through these waves of excitement and discontent with a piece. And usually it's just a matter of how long are you willing to sit and stir on it, because as you keep adding, assuming that the composition doesn't suck and you just have to throw the piece away overall because it just doesn't look right. Assuming you don't have that tragedy of the fall your piece, you'll eventually, just by investing more time, it eventually looks like you want it to look like it eventually comes through. Let's drop this down here. Okay, these all look good together. Let's merge these down now. Blend that in. This obviously needs to have some sort of arm here, because that's where its body is pushing it to have. I guess we're going to have the arm melt into the background here, which is fine with me. Do that. Let's get all this ooze color here flattened out so it's smooth. Now I don't have to keep the bodies that we're creating confined to the negative space of the ooze. I could have limbs reaching out. Well, maybe not like that. I could have limbs reaching out of the mass on their own as their own hands, and that'll be a last layer sort of thing that we do. Assuming that we go in that direction, but I'm not like this head here is obviously poking out of the mass into its own space. Hey, what's up? PSA. Also important, might I add, to pay attention to the piece and your inner voice telling you if something is not right, and then taking the next steps and doing something about it. Yeah, absolutely. If something is ringing in your head that something has gone awry, the faster you can identify what that alarm is, it might change. Like the perspective issue that we had in the tomb, for instance, that was just screaming in my head, this just is not right, and it forced me to sit back and reevaluate like what was causing this piece to feel off balance and couldn't make the lines work. It took a little while, but we found that we had to tilt the horizon line to make all the angles that we want to work, which ended up being a really cool piece. So yeah, you're absolutely right, Daph. If something is going off in your head, you need to stop. And that's not just art. That's like fucking everything in your life. If something is saying, stranger danger, don't just laugh it off as you being intolerant or you making like stupid, like letting your paranoia get the best of you. It's like, no, just check your corners real quick. Make sure your 6 is clear before you write it off as just paranoia. The worst thing that's going to happen is that you respect your inner voice more, even if it makes you look stupid because of how you're reacting to the insights that you're picking up on. Do it anyway. The closer we can cleave to that voice inside of our head that knows shit we don't know it knows. Like just assume it has a higher elevation and it can see further down the road than you can, and something is drawing its attention of like, hey, this is coming up. Just pay attention to that shit. Keeps you alive. All right, I'm good here. some space here. I love this skull. There we go. I think that looks okay for now. There's still a lot to do. And this is just one of those biting off more than I and we know I can chew this piece. Like, I've bitten off bigger pieces of this and tackle it here on screen, but I am concerned about how long it is taking me to complete this, considering how many other pieces we still have 7 other tokens to do, like other illustrations like this to do. And they're all going to take a week apiece. That's not done until mid-January, and that's kind of bothering me. So if there's any chance I can get this done in December, I would like to take that shot. Though I am willing to retreat to January, but I'm my quiver's getting low, but the targets are also thinning out. So I am fighting attrition right now on getting this piece completed. I am racing against my own fatigue and the amount of assets that are left and the amount of time each of them takes, and me wanting to be done with this so that my January is open for me to do new design stuff in the new year to angle towards getting our Spelljammer campaign up and running in February. And I need the creative bandwidth that this project consumes in my evenings for me to be able to move forward. So if I spend time on this piece in the evening so I can offer something new to watch and illustrate on Monday, I'm not advancing the background goal of clearing this book for publication. So it eventually gets done. Just like we've been slowly but surely pushing through every fucking piece in this document towards completion. And I have a laundry list of like all the things that still need to be done for me to be able to legit publish this, and that list is starting to get short. But the things that are left in it take time, and I am gnashing my teeth right now between, how should I be investing my time both on this project and other ones, both on and off screen. So I like having the variety so that people have new things to tag into. So it's more inviting to newcomers to hang out and potentially get involved in the future, because we always need more playtesters. God, we always need more playtesters. But I digress. I'm starting to rant, but it's the end of a session, so I don't have the opportunity to pull out of that rant into something positive again. So I'm going to pull out now before I cause trouble for my heart. We're going to let this sit like that. We're going to leave this half jaw like that. I think that's kind of fun. Push this here. All right, well, this guy wants entrails. This guy wants entrails. So once I give these two dudes entrails, I can start filling in these blank spots and seeing how to merge these necrotic ropes into the entrail masses of this pile of bodies. I'm liking where this is going. This was good progress today. I'm going to need to go ahead and clip short here because I do need to get some work done. I'm only having a half day in the office, so I need to get my stuff done so I can bail out and jump back online with you guys at 2 o'clock to work on more Spelljammer shit. So I'm going to go ahead and stop here now. I'm going to be back. We're going to keep working on this on Monday. Like I said, at 2 o'clock, we're going to work on the Spelljammer Kaiju campaign. And then Saturday morning tomorrow, we're going to work on the subclasses of Faerun book that came out. We're going to start converting. We're going to update all the mechanical changes that they made to the character subclasses to have it current with the color mana spell point variant rules we have for 5e. That's what we do on Saturday morning. Yeah, and then we'll be back on Monday, and I'll probably actually still work on this on Monday. But you can see we're really getting close to done. So maybe by Wednesday next week, this piece will be done, and we'll move on to the next thing. But I'm actually enjoying working on this, so I don't want to kind of bail on it yet. We're just getting to the fun part of just integrating everything. That's the best part. So I think I'd like to keep going on stream with this. Even though I said I'd switch it up on Monday. My heart's in it. I love it. So that's it. I'm going to go ahead and kick out of here for now, guys. I really appreciate y'all. It's been 4 years. What's a few more days? Exactly. Like, fuck it. Exactly. So, all right. Thanks a lot, guys. I really appreciate everyone that tags in and hangs out with me while I do this. Keep it from being a lonely process. And I'll catch up with you all in like 6 hours. So, yeah, about 6 hours. See you then. Cheers.